we are Ray Coyne, manager of the Kings Park Stallions. We're having some difficulties here.
We got a moron on the camera.
Ray, there's a new year, a new season.
Let's get ready for warm-up.
What do you think for this team? What do you think we got?
I'm looking at Cooper bending over with that microphone.
I think this is going to be one of our best teams. You had guys like Karpowitz and Mike DeCero and Billy Roel and Andy Michael at DH. And finally the team coming together as one unit, getting rid of some negativity. I think this is going to be our best year. I think we still have some... Look at that. Look at that. They were enemies the other day. I think we still got some negativity, still got some stuff to work on, and then I think we're going to be unbelievable.
Ray, you got a lot. You got a lot of on-field competition to deal with. Three that I think are the big ones right now: the third base position, the pitcher position, and the DH position. Can you give us your evaluation at this point in time on it?
Yeah, third base, it's competition, so we're going to see what happens in the competition. Basically, these positions are up for grabs. More or less, third base is kind of like the one we're saying is exactly even, can go either way. The other positions, it's basically how these people come out and play. I mean, there are many options we can do. When you have a lot of talent on a team, there's so many different options you can do, and so I think we can go in many different directions with this.
Ray, some people say you're a little soft on certain players and a little hard maybe on other players. Is that going to be a continuation? Well, first of all, do you see yourself as that? And if you do, will that be a continuation this year, or do you see yourself getting a little stricter?
It's basically my personality, the way I manage, and I think it's been successful for many years. I mean, we've been together since 1988, which is I'd say longer than a lot of teams that you hear about. We've grown as a team in baby steps, but we're at where we want to be now, and for the most part, we've kept just about our friends together, and we've been successful doing it. So as far as me evaluate myself, there are things I can do, such as, discipline more, but I think the approach that I take is kind of the best way, and I'll continue to do that.
You have a couple new ball players coming into this team. Mike DeCero, Joe Karpowitz are the two big names coming in right now. What is your scouting report on them so far?
Well, we needed certain voids to fill in this team, and one of the voids was to get another power man in here, and a young guy like Joe Karpowitz who can produce home runs like they're nothing and hits the ball as hard as anything was a great pickup. Cooper helped in getting him, and he's he's going to be a big addition because now we got a couple power guys, and not one guy can be pitched around, and so we got a couple of fierce guys in the lineup. Mike DeCero is an all-around outstanding athlete. He's a great guy to bring in the clubhouse. He's a perfect ingredient for this team. He brings speed, he brings a little power, and he brings a lot of humor in the clubhouse to get this team loosened up. So Mike is a very big pickup for us.
For them putting on a Stallion jersey for the first time, what is the one thing you would more than anything want to instill them as a Stallion tradition?
I think to just keep along what we've been doing. I think this team has a reputation of being a fun team and a courteous team. And with the past couple of years, we've had problems with umpires and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're a fun team to watch. We're a fun team to get along with, and we're a great bunch of guys. And I think those guys are a great bunch of guys too. And I think when they put on the Stallion uniform, they're gonna show respect to the veterans and just play as hard as they can. Aggression, power hitting, whatever makes us win. I don't know yet. But, but something like that.
Ray, your name has gone around as a name that a lot of teams are interested in. You've got some great power that teams look at. And you were quoted as saying in the offseason that if you if your Stallion team doesn't do this season,
Right field once.
Rob Hyman, pitcher of the Stallions. Asshole. If your team, you were quoted saying in the offseason that if your team doesn't do this year what you want from your team, that you would really consider about going somewhere else. You feel that your talent could go to a C division team. Is that still hold true? Or are those true rumors that have been going around? I mean, people used to say that Ray would never leave the Stallions, but what's the word now?
I made a pact with myself at the beginning of this year that I'm going to work my ass off to put the best team I can. And if we can, put the best team on the field. And so far, we've gotten the players we wanted. And that's what makes this year going to be great. If this team performs well, improved, where we're saying a couple of years down the road with enough practice and maybe one or two additions, we're going to be outstanding, there's no way I'm leaving. If this team produces like it has in the last couple of years, not going anywhere, no promise fighting, then I could be wasting my time. It takes a lot of effort. Me, Cooper, and Chris, and now Rob have been putting a lot of time in the team, and it's a lot of work. I mean, we spend endless hours just getting the sponsors, getting people onto this team, and if we produce results, then that'd be great. If not, then maybe it's time that we do split up and find other work.
Ray, when you say results, do you expect to win a tournament this year?
Oh, I expect to win a couple. I would like to. My goal is a couple. Is this year is to form a team and be a team that could be a force to be reckoned with. I think we're an outstanding team, and I think phase one, which is year one, when we're one team, so we got a lot of new additions. If we can make a dent, that's good enough for me. I don't expect to be the top 10 teams. That would be a bonus, but within a couple of years, within a 3-year plan, I think we'll be the best.
Ray, I got a few names for you, and I'd like you to give me an honest opinion of where you see them. Maybe this year and 5 years down the road. George Leosakos.
Looking at a Tigers fan.
George.
And that's if he's not in jail at that point.
George is we're gonna know what George is gonna be in this first 2 weeks of spring training. If George is gonna be the same George, I think George is better for recreation ball, not tournament ball. We've seen glimpses of George where he's outstanding. He's awesome, and he's a tournament ball player, but we haven't seen enough of that. And it's up to George of how he wants to play, and we'll find out within the first couple weeks of spring training.
John Daly?
Daly, I think he's got a couple of good years left in his tank. He was brought in here to do certain things, and I think he will produce this year and do them. And I think he's the final piece of a puzzle, a championship puzzle. Once we win that championship, I think John Daly will be more on a management consultant role. But I think he's got a couple of good years left in him.
Kevin Payne.
Did we use the fork on him? Yeah. Kevin, it's the same thing with George. We're going to find out in the first 2 weeks of spring training. Kevin's attitude gets in the way of his ball playing, which is unfortunate. If Kevin can realize what he can do, we've had many talks about it. He's told me that he's going to do what is expected of him. If he can do that, if he can become the player that he was, our DH, I think Kevin's going to be around a couple more years. If not, then 2 more weeks.
Jeff Kosas.
Jeff's a guy that we brought in here as he's got a lot of potential. We just don't know if he's going to develop it or not. And I think we're going to give him a whole year to work on his hitting. And I think Jeff, me, Coop, and Chris will know after this year. We'll know at the end of this year whether Jeff is going to be a tournament player or just a recreation player. I think Jeff, if he can produce with his size, he can produce the power that we want him to, then he can be around for a long time because he's young and he's a great guy to be around. But if not, then maybe he should just step down. I still want him to be around the team, so he's a good guy.
Especially if we're going to fight some boss.
Well, that's a good thing to say, I think.
Ray, anything you think you could improve on yourself, both at, in the game and, behind the scenes as a manager, whatever it may be? What would you like to improve, if anything, in yourself?
I'd like to improve my fielding, as Rob Hymick has just mentioned. That's why I'm playing indoor ball now. I'd like to become the best first baseman in the league. I think I can do it with enough practice, but I still got a long way to go. As far as management, I think I want to get more people involved. As far as like Cooper doing his work and Chris doing his work when he can, and Rob starting to help us out. I think I want to get this team. My goal is, I did my GM work of the year, and I think I have to coach this team along with the assistant to really coach these guys now. I mean, we're all talented players, but every player on this team can use improvement, just like major leaguers. They can work on something. I think if we can gel together as a team and really coach this team, we'll be a winner.
Ray, for all your players that are going to be watching, what's the one thing you're not going to take from them this year?
Well, you see that my Keteal's not around anymore. I think the disruption during the games, embarrassment during the games, we're not going to take anymore. I don't want it anymore. I think we're at a level where